What's up, guys? Luke here with Luke's Points and Miles. Do I have anybody in the chat? I got three people. If someone could please comment that you can hear me loud and clear, I would appreciate it. I oftentimes have a little bit of trouble with this microphone, and I also going to turn these lights on. I'll be right back. I forgot. Sorry. Apologize. It's been a while since I did a live, so I did not have everything all super ready and all that good stuff. Let me see here. All right. I think we're good if we can get that to stop shaking. Okay. So the theme tonight, guys, is the NFL season just dropped last night at 8 o'clock, and I am representing my Cincinnati Bengals. If you guys don't know, I live in, well, close to Columbus, Ohio, and the Cincinnati Bengals are the team we support. And the schedule came out last night, and we usually do at least one or two away games. And the goal is for my son to see every NFL stadium before he graduates high school. We'll see how that goes, because you guys know that are football fans, there are a couple stadiums that are very difficult for an opposing team to go to. And I don't know if we'd have that much fun in that environment anyway. But so far we have Tampa, Dallas, and I know there's more. Tampa and Dallas and Nashville and Tennessee. Oh, Tim McDonald likes the 49ers. Hey, I like the 49ers too. That's definitely the stadium I want to go to. So this year the schedule comes out, and we really wanted to do the Chargers game. Sorry, there's ambulances all the time down my street, so apologies. Phil Mo's Bills Mafia. Phil Mo. I was there last year on Sunday Night Football when Josh Allen got that taunting call against the Bengals when he scored that touchdown. And then, of course, the Bengals won. Great game, great fun. Actually went down to Cincinnati and stayed the night there. And ironically enough, the guy who went to that game with me, he is a New York Giants fan. He grew up when he was little in New York, and he was always a Giants fan. So he's been to a Giants game with me in Cincinnati, and we decided we're going to the New York Giants game when the Bengals travel to the Big Apple. So I did want to talk about that redemption because I just booked it this morning. Real quick, guys, wristwatch check. Tonight we are wearing the Omega Speedmaster Sapphire Sandwich. I know this isn't a watch channel, but I know some guys ask about it once in a while, and it's kind of become a little bit of hobby for me. And if you're not familiar, the Omega Speed Watch or Speedmaster is the first watch on the moon. That's its claim to fame. Big deal. I think it gives it part of its personality and heritage and all that good stuff, and really like it. And it also helped me get the American Express Business Platinum sign-up bonus. It actually really helped me with that. Silly purchase, but that's okay. But back to this redemption. So NFL schedule is out. One of the games I'm going to is we're going to New York. Real quick, the redemption I chose for that is we have a lot of options in Columbus to fly direct to New York in all three airports. To fly to EWR, we have United, and with both LaGuardia and JFK, we can do American and Delta. So I booked American Airlines flights with British Airways Avios. And here's the cool part about doing that. Sometimes you'll find the perfect times for the flights, and they will only have business class available. So obviously you have to book business class. And I don't really need an excuse to do it, but it's always nice to book that business class just to enjoy it. Tariq Gaines, what's up, man? Robert Jarrell says Reds or Guardians. That's weird, man. I was kind of I've never seen the Guardians, but I was an Indians fan, but my dad was always a Reds fan. So I've went to the Reds Stadium a lot more, and I don't follow baseball, but if I did, it would be the Reds. We do go to a game every year, and so I gotta respect the old man and be a Reds fan. Key New England Patriots. Hey, New England Patriots opened their season in Cincinnati this year. So I'm going to take the little guy and we're going to watch that one. Tariq Gaines is a Saints fan. I like that. I grew up loving the Saints. I don't know how old you are, but they had a quarterback named Bobby Abear and they had a running back named Ruben Mays. It was back when there was only like one wild card team and they would battle it out with the Vikings for that wild card spot. They were in the same division as the 49ers and the 49ers would beat them, but I love the Saints. Julius, Luke, do you have any plans to take Carlos to WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas? Is it next year, April 19th and 20th? Well, I'm glad you that's a tough one because Vegas is a tough place to take an 8-year-old, and we have not been following WWE wrestling. I'll get back with you on that because if we start following it, we're definitely going to go. Or we might do like a SummerSlam or something a little lower. I don't think I can take 2 nights of big time wrestling. Oh, Keith says baseball fan of all 27 stadiums in the book. That's awesome, man. I haven't been to as many baseball stadiums, but that's definitely a really cool thing to do. I hope I can get my boy to all the football stadiums, but we'll see. We wanted to do the Los Angeles Chargers this year, but it's just a really tough weekend to do it. So I'm actually going to drive him to Charlotte. So we're going to do the Carolina Panthers. My wife has a friend that lives there, so we're gonna go visit. She's going to go visit her, and we're staying at the. I've never been to an Embassy Suites. So in Charlotte, we're going to stay at the Embassy Suites. You can walk to the stadium, all that good stuff. And in New York City, we are going to stay. It's a Hyatt Place on 36th Street, so it's in Manhattan there, Midtown, I think they call it. And we'll just take the subway to the game. But we'll be flying American business class, which is silly because it's an hour and a half flight, and it's not really a business class. But your Uncle Luke likes to be pampered once in a while. And the guy I'm going with hates flying, and he doesn't fly very often. So put him in business class. Let him kind of chill for maybe he's a drinker too. Maybe he'll get some drinks. Yeah, Tariq, I love the Saints, man. I did have tickets to the Saints when the Bengals went down there a couple years ago, and we had some family issues and we couldn't go. Really disappointed about that. Oh, Robert Jarrell says he knows Bobby Abear. Everybody loved Bobby Abear. Frugal Dad Finance. Good evening, Luke. Ohio is a weird state with the jungle gyms in Cincy, and they served beer while I shopped. That's not weird. Is that weird? I don't think that's weird in a world sense. I don't think, and you also have to look at it this way. As far as I know, Cincinnati is a very German influenced city. So that might be where they get all the good beer. Juan Garcia likes the shirt. Juan, if I had to pick a secondary team, probably going with your Dolphins, man. I did go see the Bengals play the Dolphins. I think it was during COVID. I think it was like 4,500 people in the stadium or something. But the funny thing about that is I've never seen that many Bengals fans before in Miami. Kind of weird. And I think Joe Burrow was hurt. So WrestleMania 40 was insane. You got me going. I think I'm going to try to do that. Maybe we'll try to do that. It would be better if it was during spring break. Retired 2019 asked Luke, is the Hilton Conrad in Fort Lauderdale worth the hype? Okay, so there's only a couple hotels that I've been to more than once. And I think the Roosevelt in New Orleans I've been to 3 times, maybe three times. The Conrad in Fort Lauderdale, I've been there 3 times, and I'm taking everybody back in July. So I don't know how much hype we're talking about, but and I won't even say it was awesome every single time, but yes, it's worth. What I got here? I have dry lips. I'm sorry, guys, but I would say it's worth a shot. Sorry, guys. We have the weather in Ohio where it's 80 degrees outside and 65 degrees inside. 8 hours away from NOLA. Yeah, if I was 8 hours, man. New Orleans is my family's favorite city. which is weird. But New Orleans is just, Phil Mo says Joe Burrow's always hurt. Yeah, you're right. I'm not the biggest Joe Burrow fan of anybody, man. I'm a realist. Um, I heard somebody say that NFL players, hurt players stay hurt and lazy players stay lazy. So we'll see. Keith S says he just helped a friend get a Hyatt down the street from MetLife Stadium for the Rolling Stone. Here, and there's a bus that goes there. But here's the thing about, I thought about doing that, but if I don't, if like this is kind of a boys' trip, so I wanted to go out Saturday night and have some fun, and I don't know if I want to have that much fun really close to MetLife Stadium, in New Jersey in the Meadowlands. So I kind of wanted to stay in the thick of it in New York City and kind of see all that stuff and then just take the subway over. But if I did that, I would probably fly to EWR and everything would be easier and cheaper. But I'm not. Justin Workman, if Charlotte Airport was your home airport, what airline would you get to have status? Here's the thing. Charlotte's not my home airport, but I know it's an American Airlines hub. So I think if Charlotte was my airport, I don't know if I don't think I would even get status. I don't worry about status now. I don't think I would, but I imagine you would have the majority of your flights on American Airlines. Nick says he's got crazy family life right now. He'll watch later. No problem, man. I appreciate you. He says we're the GOAT. And by the way, Who Dat is better than Who Day. Okay. I like them both. And those two places kind of have a relationship now because we have so many Louisiana players, or they played in college in Louisiana. So when we go to New Orleans, they know the Bengals players. So, and they also have a lot of Ohio State players on the Saints. So somehow those two cities are. Oh, Tariq, he'd take Burrow over Derek Carr. Derek Carr's awful. David Ruiz says he's not a Bengals fan, but it's always more fun when the best players aren't hurt. So hopes Joe Cool can stay healthy. Glenn Ardonia, my Filipino executive security expert. What's up, man? He just went to New Orleans, and he was not a fan, it sounds like. Listen, New Orleans is not for everyone. It is not a city where you can say, oh, you'll definitely have fun. Most of the people I know don't like New Orleans. And most of the people I know, they say bad things about New Orleans. It's dirty. It stinks. And they're right. It is dirty and it does stink. But, if you don't like that. And Glenn Ardonia is from Las Vegas, which stinks. Let me get to these questions that were on the community post. Ian Mascal, he says, do you know if my Hilton free night certificate, which expires on December 4th, do I have to book and use it before the 4th, or just book it before the 4th and I can use it after that? I'm almost 100% that this happened to me and you just need to book it. If anybody in the chat knows that that's not correct, please tell me. And this is just off the top of my head. I don't rehearse any of these questions because I like to get like an authentic answer. But your best bet is to just call Hilton and ask him. John Wick wants to know alternatives to Chime credit builder for foreigners. Buddy, I don't have any idea what Chime is or Chime credit builder, or I have no idea how a foreigner would build credit. I'm sorry. Not my game. Okay. So we talked about is anybody here an NFL fan that is planning some away games this year at all? Or is that just something that I do? It's like I get really excited as soon as the season opens at 8:00. I look at them, I say, okay, we're going here. And I was really disappointed this year because we have a softer schedule and we don't have that many really fun places to go. But, that's okay. Charlotte should be, I hate to say it, but it should be an easy win. And Charlotte is a really cool city. Switching gears, What do you guys think about the new city news? I do have a complete video coming out about how I feel about city overall. So I don't want to get too far into it, but I would just say that I am positive on city right now. I think they're trending in the right way. I think they are moving in the correct direction. And I think a lot of good things are going to be happening in the world of city. I think Glenn wants to go to Miami and watch the Fins. Hey, I'll go to Miami. I'll go to Miami anytime. That's probably the easiest place for me to go, Miami and Dallas. And I don't want to go to Dallas this year. But I took my son to Dallas. I took my son to Dallas 2 years ago, and I do get that NFL football games. You get that kind of crowd where it's a rough place for kids sometimes. A lot of booze, a lot of people kind of acting tough. But I had a couple people like say stuff to me, like trying to start fights with me when I'm walking with like a 6 year old. And but my first thought was, I don't have any way to take care of him and try to bond out. So we have to be careful with which football games we go to with youngsters. And Dallas was tough. I didn't think Dallas would be rough, but Dallas was definitely tough. Joe Phillips says a sub looks nice, but otherwise nothing exciting. And here's the thing, Joe. I think that's what I like the best about the city news. I think what I liked the best was they didn't change much. They made it a couple steps up, um, but they didn't completely change the thing. And I think that's the best decision they made. And I'm kind of hoping they make the same decision with the Strata Prestige. Oh, Filmo's going to Houston for a Bills game. That's going to be a tough game, man. I've never been to Houston except for the airport, um, but I think that'll be a really cool trip, especially if you live in Buffalo, because Buffalo probably cold, probably not the coolest place in the world to live. I live in Columbus, so it's the same, I guess. As a Steelers fan in Columbus, I might head down to Cincy December 1st. You know what? I could never understand in my whole life why all the Steelers fans live in Ohio. I just and by the way, nothing personal against you because I know a ton of Steelers fans, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are the only sports team that I dislike. The only sports team that I like. There's a bunch of them I don't like, but I dislike the Steelers. Oh man, but I do respect their heritage and their tradition and their wins and their Super Bowls. So Julia says, I don't want the premiere, but I think the elite will be swinging like Mayweather. Ah, we'll see. Tariq says if City adds American Airlines as a transfer, now they would completely change the game with American Airlines. And manages to get another major hotel brand, they dethrone the C. Yeah, I think you're right, but I don't think any of that's going to happen. David Ruiz would love to go to Dallas if they were playing the Niners. Definitely not be. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's a question for you guys. I know not everybody's a football fan. And I don't want to stay on the football thing, all night. So I get it. We'll wrap it up soon. But do you guys think it's a good idea to wear your team stuff to another city for a game? This is my personal take on it. I've worn stuff to the away games. I think I would prefer just wearing a black sweatshirt to an away game. Just me. I'm too old to to do all the things I used to do. Yeah, Tariq, I don't think they're adding a major hotel brand. We'll see. You realize there's two CSPs now: the City, Strata, Premier. Yeah, listen. If I'm being super honest with you, I think the City Strata Premier is the better card. You got primary CDW on the Chase side, and you have what everyone considers the superior transfer partners, and they're right. It's hard to take Hyatt away from Chase, and they fall at least two notches down. And I'm not a Hyatt person, but I have to respect the value and the ease you can get with Hyatt points transferred from Chase. There's no denying it. Do I think it's overrated? Yeah, um, but that's another topic. Juan Garcia says high expectations with the Dolphins signing OBJ. OBJ is washed. I would not even. He might play a quarter of the snaps. He's got talent, but he's washed up. Uh, Epeben. I can't. I don't know how to say your name, man. Epeben. Epeben. I don't. Luke, your thoughts on the Kimpton Sea Fire? Food was crazy expensive, right? Resort not bad. Let me, man. If you guys aren't familiar, I did a redemption video on the Kimpton Sea Fire in Grand Cayman. Some of these rooms are um, between $1,000 and $2,500 a night, and you can redeem, if you remember, it's 70,000 IHG points plus some cash, some resort fees, but 70,000 IHG points. And remember, with IHG, if you have one of their credit cards, your fourth night is free. So you can get an insane cents per point valuation on this resort. Now, what did I think about it? I'd really like to have my wife answer this because I'm a little bit torn on it. Like, was there anything at all remarkable about that place besides the fact that it was on 7 Mile Beach? Was it nice? Absolutely. Come on, absolutely. It's a top tier resort. It's great. But special. Am I going back? You're right though. The food was really expensive, and the food and anything off the property. The way that property is set up is you can't walk anywhere, so you have to get a taxi cab, and they're. I mean that's a great scam they have with the taxi cabs. It's really expensive to get anywhere in town. Would I go back? Honestly, probably not. Maybe there's just too many different places to go, and that one really did not knock Aunt Connie's socks off. Was it good? Yes. Would I recommend it? For sure. It's great, definitely for the value, especially if you can get a deal on flights there. Robert has the city trifecta. Now he may lean in, okay, and build more points for choice. Listen, guys, you guys can make fun of me all you want, but choice points, there are enough really good ways to use those for really nice properties. Choice, especially transferred from city, is a big time redemption. You're getting one thank you point to two choice points, and they have Robert, what's the program called? Preferred hotels. There are some really special properties that you can redeem these points for, and you can get some amazing value and properties all over the world. So don't sleep on choice. And the weird thing about it is I'm starting to see a lot of value in Wyndham points in South America. When I was planning this Lima, Peru trip, I keep seeing these super nice Wyndham properties for very low amount of points. And everything's a little cheaper down there, it seems, but I have a new respect for Wyndham points now. Vincent Pascal, the Chargers have generally snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. We'll see if bringing Jim Harbaugh on board. Listen, I'm an Ohio State guy, so obviously I'm not a big fan of the cheater, Jim Harbaugh, because he obviously cheated. But he's obviously a great football brain and a great coach. I think you guys will do just fine. Michael Pythia, my man, City would not mess with me for some reason. He has a City business AA card. I have that one too. They are difficult and they are inquiry sensitive. And yeah, I don't know that anyone has the answer for City. Capital One seems to be the same way with some people. Nobody really has the answer for that. People will go a year without applying for anything and they still get denied. Tariq says NFL games are too expensive. College football, you don't live in Columbus. College football in Columbus is pretty expensive. Michael says he wears his Lakers jersey to Mavs games. You're that guy. I went to a Mavs game in February. We saw uh, took my son and we saw the Mavericks and OKC Thunder. It's his first NBA game. It's only my second NBA game ever. My first was actually with Glenn Ardonia back in the 90s when they were the Washington Bullets. Anybody remembers that? Lakers jersey to the Mavericks game. You know what? I want to say Sledge did the same thing. Filmo, always full decked out in Bills gear, but my kid is 6'6" and 350. That's funny because I would imagine in a lot of places, no one bothers a 6'6", 350. But at an NFL football game, when those drunks get, when they get full of that booze, it might be the first guy they try to bother. Sounds like that's actually 6'6" and 350 is a little bit bigger than a most big guys. So even a guy full of booze probably respects that. Dr. Vinny Boombats, what's up, man? Black sweatshirt might be associated with the Raiders. Hey, but nobody cares about the Raiders because they're not any good. Uh-oh. Vinny looks like, sounds like Vinny's got to work tonight. Or at least he's in between working. E-Dog says old man is from Pittsburgh, born and raised in Northeast Ohio. Family, yeah, and that's the same excuse everybody in Ohio has to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Well, my dad, I get it. Dad takes you to your first game. You watch football with your dad. I'll give a funny story about that. I had my stepkids are grown now, but I had a stepson who, for whatever reason, was a Baltimore Ravens fan when I got him. So the first thing I did was, hey, I think he was 9 or 10. Maybe he might have been a little older, 9 or 10, maybe 11. I said, go get your winter clothes on. And this is back when I tailgated down in Cincinnati. So we would go down about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I would bring a fire pit and a grill, and I had a van. Did everything great. It took one time. He was a Bengals fan. That's how you do it. Gregory Harper says, "Who day?" His sister's a Steelers fan. Decayed Mushrooms says, "What do you think of the IHG business card? I have it. I used to like it a lot more. When I really dug into the value of the points, I kind of realized it's not worth using, but I do think it's worth using at IHG properties, of which I'm a big fan, especially their budget-friendly stuff. I like staying at Holiday Inns, Holiday Inn Expresses, and stuff like that. The other thing about that card is it gives you the fourth night free with points, and that could be super valuable. And when we're talking about IHG points themselves, I will normally purchase when they have that 100% sale or the 100% off. Whenever they're half a penny each, I will normally purchase the maximum allowed to purchase. So, and that's just for, not even it's probably my third program I use, but I like the business card because it won't count on your personal credit, and it earns. If you do want to use it to earn, I would not recommend using it for anything besides IHG stays, but I do like it. It's $99. They give you 40,000 point certificate. I do want to talk about certificates though, since we brought it up. And this is one of the reasons why I think I'm going away from hotel cards and things like that. Is how many of us get these hotel certificates that are crazy value and they're great, and then come towards the end of the year they're getting ready to expire and we don't have anything to do with them, unless you're somebody who travels all the time. Sometimes those certificates don't get used and they're just a waste. Other times, so you don't waste them, you'll go book something that you wouldn't normally book. And I don't want to say you're wasting it, but I'm not a fan of free night certificates with hotels, and that's completely contradictory to every other credit card person on YouTube. I understand the meaning of a keeper card. It gives me a free night that is worth more than the annual fee. Therefore, it is worth keeping. I'm moving away from that thought process because it's not true. I've had every hotel certificate I've been in danger of expiring that. Every single one. Um, and I travel once a month. So if you're not in that position, then good for you. I have to put it this way. I got a free night certificate from Hyatt for the brand earner for staying at 5 different brands of Hyatts. I had to use it at the New Orleans Creator Meetup because it's going to expire 2 weeks later. I don't want to stay at the Hyatt Centric in the French Quarter, but I have to use a certificate, so I had to use it there. I don't like it. I like freedom, and I like to have some agility when I'm moving around and do stuff. So, but back to your question, IHG Business Premier, big time card for sure. Get here. Tariq's gonna probably get it um, after he gets to Ink Cash, which Ink Cash is one of my favorite cards out of all of them, with no categories. Pound for pound, the most powerful card, I think, especially if you can have 2 or 3. And Filmo says, "Give me all the free waffles." Holiday Inns, boy, they give you breakfast. It might be like cheap breakfast, but come on, how many of you guys care how? Let me ask you guys a question. When these Hyatt people come out and say you get a free breakfast at Hyatt, it's how many of you guys care how good breakfast is? Seriously, do you just want to stuff a couple of waffles and a couple of sausages down your throat and go on about your business? Or do you actually sit there and say, oh, these crepes are delicious. Oh, more fresh fruit. No, no, no. Your wives might do that. You don't do that. I give me my breakfast and let me get on about my business. I don't buy that $100, $150 breakfast stuff. And yes, I have had it. I have had some great breakfast, but so what? We just want some food so we can go on and do our stuff. What do we got here? Vincent says IHG Platinum Elite status gets you a small bag of snacks. I didn't know that. I am Platinum Elite, or am I? Yeah, I'm Platinum Elite. I've never gotten anything from IHG. Speaking of that Kimpton Resort in Grand Cayman, they didn't do anything for Platinums, and I heard they don't. I heard they're well known to not recognize any of those status rules. Julius, people say Marriott's don't really honor status. Have you had experience? Listen, Marriott's, there's so many different brands. And let me talk about hotel status in general, because I have always been a huge, huge fan of hotel status, because I think if it's followed to the letter, it's a tremendous amount of value. The only thing about it is most of these properties are not owned by these. They're not owned by Marriott. They're not owned by Hilton. And they can just say, no, I'm not doing that. You can call, you can do this, but the only thing you're really going to accomplish is you're going to make your trip not as fun. Marriott in particular, you don't. Here's my problem with Marriott. Most of those properties are not going to honor anything they're supposed to. And to top it off, Ritz-Carlton, the big high-end thing, is the worst out of the bunch. They're not going to honor any of it. So what makes me laugh is all these people talking about this stupid Ritz-Carlton card. They've never been in a Ritz-Carlton. They I don't, when if you stay at a Ritz-Carlton, you don't need status, because number one, they don't care anyway. They're not going to honor it. And number two, most Ritz-Carltons are in the hospitality business, so they're going to treat you really nice regardless of all that. I'm hotel status is something I'm reviewing in my head, and I'm maybe moving away from a little bit. I will say this: most places with Hilton do honor the food and beverage credit, and to me, the food and beverage credit is worth having status just by itself, and that's with math. If you give me $50 a day and I stay at Hilton's 20 nights in a year, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to eat my way through those annual fees, no problem. But here's the catch to that: I get that same food and beverage credit if I just hold the platinum card, which is not a hotel card at all, because gold status still gets the food and beverage credit. So if the only thing you really value is that food and beverage credit, you might not need a hotel card. I very rarely get any meaningful upgrade with Hilton's. Very rarely. The Conrad Fort Lauderdale I did once, just once, and it was awesome. Um, the Roosevelt, Waldorf Astoria in New Orleans, I got a good upgrade once, just once. Keith S. says he prefers hotel points over free nights because they don't expire. Absolutely. Which is another reason why that Chase card is good. They give you 30,000 points, not a free night. But no, Julius, I have found that most Marriott properties, they don't really, not only do they not recognize your status, they don't really care about it. And there doesn't seem to be any governing body that enforces that. I know with Hilton, um, the good thing about Hilton is, well, the good and bad thing about Hilton is if you go and you call Hilton corporate or you email them with a pretty substantial problem, they're going to make it right. They're going to give you a ton of points. They might give you a couple nights worth of points for that problem. But here's the catch. With Hilton, and this is the only chain I've heard of doing this, if you think you're going to be one of them people that complains a lot to get stuff, they're going to tell you, hey, listen, it seems like you're not a good fit for our Hilton Honors program. So we're going to go ahead and take you out of the program because we're not able to satisfy you. And it's happened, and people have lost all their points and all their status like that. That would suck. That would suck. But I'm pretty sure that's with people who are professional complainers. And I know some people like this. They will create a problem just to see what you can do for them. Jackson Drake, any tips for breaking out of Amex jail? Been looking at the Bonvoy Brilliant and can't get it. Stuck with months with continued spend. Well, the first answer is always spend on them. But if that doesn't work, what I've found is go the business card route. They seem to be growing their business clientele faster than their personal. That's the only thing I can tell you. Spend and go the business route. The only cards I've gotten from Amex in a very long time have been business cards. And you can churn, I don't want to say you can churn them, but most of their business cards are actually no lifetime, or they don't have the no lifetime language with them. I just got my second business platinum card bonus. So go the business card route. Gregory Harper. Oh, I just went all the way down. I got a lot to catch up with. Just qualified for American Airlines Gold. Nice. Congratulations. Did it with dining and shopping. Okay. With meal deliveries. Smooth move. That's the best way. Unsure if I should try for the next level or if it's even actually worth it. Yeah. It's May. You've got 8 months to get to platinum. Go ahead and do it. I wouldn't spend anything you don't want to spend, but if it's a decision where you're maybe getting meal delivery services through the American Airlines portal as opposed to like Rakuten portal, I would do it just to do it and just to see if you like it for the next year and a half. I mean, when I go and take my buddy to New York on American Airlines, I'm platinum. I expect to get upgraded on the way there. Is it a big deal? No, absolutely not. You get to sit in a different seat. And it's a small plane, so there's not much difference. But it's kind of cool. Yeah, I would do it. If it wasn't that big of a deal for you to get gold, it won't be a big deal to get platinum. So just keep on doing what you're doing. And at the same time, while you're doing that, you're racking up American Airlines miles, which are super valuable. Very, very underrated as a points currency. Philmo, the Wyndham business gives points yearly, which is way better. I agree. David William, California can always use it for a night at the beach. Yeah, thanks for that. I don't live in California, so I don't really think that way, but you're right. That sounds like, I mean, if nothing else, I just go spend a Saturday at the beach. Yeah. Nice move. I don't really have that here. It made me feel bad now. It's Steve. Appreciate the wrist check. Mine is a 2021 with a 3861 movement closed back. Yeah. I can appreciate the closed back and the Hezolite, um, uh, whatever it is, the Hezolite crystal, if you want to call it crystal. But uh, just something I like is I like retro style with more modern parts. So with the sapphire crystal, I'm pretty tough on watches and everything else. But the 3861 is sweet. All the Speedmasters are super. I also like the bracelet better on this one. It's got a little bit of shininess and really thin. I don't have another bracelet, anything like this. Joe Phillips, like to get a night away with the wife. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I don't know if it would work for me to go find a Category 2 Hyatt up where they sell dope and have prostitutes just to get away. It's because we don't have any. Yeah, no, I get it. Maybe I should try harder to use them. Phil, IHG or Marriott for a second hotel ecosystem? Well, let me answer that like this. I don't have anything bad to say about Marriott, but I don't stay at Marriott's very often, and it's because I've not found a ton of value in their program. I have no idea why anyone would want to accumulate Marriott points. Why? I mean, no. But I think they have the best properties. They have big league, high end properties that are really nice and they take care of you. So IHG, really easy to get affordable, and you get affordable stays at Marriott also. But IHG, they have a good card. You can purchase their points for half a penny each. And like Marriott, they're everywhere. So if you need an affordable stay, they're everywhere. I think those, you could flip a coin for those two, I think. I do think Marriott, if you get deep into their system, you have more potential to stay at some wonderful places. But I don't know if you're going to get a ton of value like that. I don't know. That's a great question. But I would, whoever has the property you like to stay at. Ian says he's going to New Orleans week 3 for a football game. Any suggestions on where to stay? Our favorite hotel in New Orleans is the Roosevelt Waldorf Astoria, and it's just west of Canal Street. So you can walk out the door and cross the street, and you're in the French Quarter. But I think it's actually considered maybe the business quarter or something different. I believe you can walk to the game. It's not super close, but we like the Roosevelt Waldorf Astoria. Nice pool, rooftop pool, amazing service. They have a Sazerac bar. That's our favorite place. We have stayed at somewhere else. We stayed one time in the French Quarter, and I think we just wanted to stay somewhere different. I think I was getting a sub on some other card, so I used the travel portal, and the Andrew Jackson. It's haunted, so she wanted to stay at the haunted place. Just do the Roosevelt. Second, maybe do the Andaz Hyatt. Third, this is going to be a little bit further away from the stadium, but Choice Hotels has a Cambria down by the river that looks super, super cool. And, if that's where I would want to stay if I was going there tomorrow, the Cambria. Robert says Choice Privileges Select gives you annual points. Absolutely. Not nights that expire. So you can hoard them as long as you're right. I like the points better than the free stays. And the free stays, you're always trying to get, well, let me get the maximum dollar amount for the category they'll let me have. If it's points, you're just using them. TM Cowling says you're exactly right on the breakfast point. Yeah, guys, there's not a lot of guys that are, I can't wait for breakfast tomorrow. No, it's guys that give me my coffee before you talk to me. Let me go downstairs and stuff my face full of food. Now let's get going. I don't that's that breakfast thing, man. I could be wrong. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm like everybody else. All right. We got a lot of people, almost 100 people in here right now. 98 people. Call your mama, have her come in. We need to hit 100. Triple digits. Yeah, Keith S says if anyone says they know how to get out of Amex jail, then they're lying. I don't disagree with you at all, man. Like we used to think we knew. We used to say put all your spend on there because I'm not in pop up jail and I spend on mine. Some people that's not enough. Yeah, and I think you're right. Nobody knows. Jay from the Bay says, "Let's go, Uncle Luke." Thank you, sir. Wong Wei travels, and yeah, he's stopping in from Tokyo. Wong Wei is actually traveling right now. And listen, let me tell you something about Wong Wei. He walks the walk. He is not on here talking about stuff that he doesn't do. He's not on here repeating internet lore and things like that and rules that he thinks are real rules. Wong Wei is a real deal. That dude gets around and he does it in a big league fashion. Check him out, man. He's got a channel, all that good stuff. The dude is super legit. He's not nowhere near as good looking as I am, but he knows his stuff for sure. Oh, Dirk Little. Listen, I saw Dirk in the Grand Caymans. He said he's gonna get me a fruity drink, and he never did. But we actually saw each other at the Kimpton in the Grand Caymans. Nice to see you, Dirk. Nice to see you here. I hope you enjoyed the Kimpton. Cool place. He said great stay. Family loved it, and they didn't get anything with their status either. So you have two different data points. And yeah, Dirk, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking in. I would have really liked that fruit. They did have some really good fruity drinks at that kind of that beach restaurant there at the Kimpton. They had a margarita night, and I'm not a huge margarita person, but I had a couple good ones. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking in, Dirk. Oh boy, black coffee for breakfast. Hold the food. There you go, Keith S. Yes, Ian, it is a Cincinnati Bengals shirt. We are representing. The beginning of the video was about the NFL season came out last night at 8 o'clock. Okay, Ezra, staying at the Intercontinental this Memorial Day weekend in NOLA using his Listen, Ezra, I got the ambassador status, and I'm not going to be able to use the night during that year. Another example of a free night certificate that I just can't use because there's not that many Intercontinentals. Oh, man. Uh-oh. I bet you the Eagles beat the Bengals this year. I'm willing to bet a one-way domestic coach seat for one person. And let me get back with you on that because I'm not a gambler. But the Eagles are in Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. I'm gonna get back with you on that because your Eagles are they've had their day in the sun and they failed. So they're probably not going to get back to where they were. They took a huge poop last year, the last quarter of the season, and I think that's probably going to continue on. They gave that quarterback a giant contract, and now he's chilling. I don't mean any of that. I just kind of football talking smack. Oh yeah, Ezra says he learned that it may not be worth it because you have to book the much higher price. Yeah, like I think I learned my lesson with that ambassador status. I probably should not have bought that. I thought I was going to use it in Panama, and for some reason I'm stupid and I switched my hotel. I should have just left it there. Vincent used this Amex FHR to book Ritz Carlton Half Moon Bay. Okay, Half Moon Bay, is that Key West? I know I've heard of it, but I can't think of. So I got the benefits that way. Didn't have to worry about status. Good. Cesar Joel is in the house. What's up, Cesar? Can't wait to meet you down in Puerto Rico. I look at flights all the time. We'll have to see what when's the best time to go. Uh, Keith S says he just became a Hilton fan. Screw the faux complainers. Yeah, the Hilton hate is strange. I'm not listen. There are some people who really know what they're talking about that don't like the Hilton program. But the vast majority of the Hilton hate, in my opinion, is from people who might not be experts in that field. I'll put it that way. I'll put it the nicest way I possibly can. And you can take it however you want. Mountain Bob just got another gold business. Nice. Turn them up, baby. Yeah, like the Hilton is a goat. Phil says Hilton. Hilton has tons of value. People get stuck on the value of the point and they forget how easy those points are to earn and how many of them you can earn really fast and how many different options they have. Hilton for the cup. There you go, Juan. Oh, I messed it up. Okay. K1 Decat. Hilton was their primary for years. Decided to hit Marriott Titanium this year and not impressed. That's unfortunate. Um, you know, I've like everybody else. I kind of I'm open with Marriott. I stay at a Marriott in Panama, and I like their properties. I stay at a Marriott when I go to Bengals games and have to stay the night because there's a Marriott AC, I think, right next to the stadium. Wonderful properties, but I can't extract great value from that program. I can't. Um, the best I can do are really low, um, like Fairfield Inns and Courtyard Marriotts. I can get good value with that, but I can't do it with the high end stuff. Yeah, Vincent goes to Rakuten and then the American Airlines shopping portal. Good, getting tons of stuff with that. Ezra, I've been doing many more stays through Choice Hotels, and I found I really like their Cambria and Ascend collection. Yeah, those are two great properties. Their status reward nights are cheap, and they give you quality redemptions. Absolutely, man. It's just for some reason when the YouTube universe hears that, they think, you know, it's you want to laugh. Best Western's another one that has really good properties in some places. There's a Best Western in Dubai. Go stay there and tell me it's not nice. Oh yeah, Kid Cat says they go American Airlines until they hit Platinum or Platinum Pro, and then move over to Rakuten. Yeah, I think it's a good strategy. I usually kind of alternate. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to do status again with American, but I like to do one of those. Alaskan Airlines is One World, works straight with American Airlines. Also Alaska, buying Hawaiian. Yep. And is it that? Yep. You're right, John. Everybody's on pins and needles to try to find out, are you going to have really valuable Alaska miles or really cheap, terrible Hawaiian miles? We'll see. Thomas Hapuik. Man, somebody help me here. Hapiuk? Thomas Hapiuk. Sorry. I'm an Appalachian from Ohio, man. Hapiuk is an elite channel member. We welcome you, Thomas. Thank you so much for your support. Kevin Lynn is a super high-end properties at Marriott like Masa Mara and Al Maha are much better and unique than the others. Yeah, I mean, you could pick a couple of the best properties in any ecosystem, and they're going that Al Maha. I'm thinking that's the one in outside of Dubai. Yeah, that'd be great to stay at. But that's for very few of us. I've been to Dubai, and I never once thought, well, let me go out in the desert and stay there for a couple of days. Eh. But you're right; Marriott has some great properties. Cesar says, might add a Tudor Black Bay soon. Listen, that Tudor Black Bay, that new one, that monochromatic, the black one that looks like an old school Submariner, that's money. Watch, that's awesome. I don't think I'm going to get one. I just had a Tudor sitting here, but I love that watch. That's big time. It looked good on you too. You got those small wrists. It'll look good on you. You have those small feminine wrists. I'm just kidding. Oh, I missed it. Okay. Every time I scroll down, it kind of like shoots down. Cesar staying at the Roosevelt for 2 nights. Cesar, I have to stay at the Hyatt for the first 2 nights, but then I'm coming over to the Roosevelt for the last night, just because I want to go there. Actually, I'm using my FHR credit for the 1 night there. And you're right, the FHR credit works great there. Julius, Camry and Ascend are your favorite brands from Choice? Yeah, absolutely. Those two are big time. I always see them, and they're always just look really good quality and great deals. Juan says they're building a Waldorf Astoria in downtown Miami. I didn't know that. I've never stayed downtown Miami. We always stay on the beach because I'm an Ohio guy. If I'm going to Florida, I have to be on the water. Oh, Julius had an amazing breakfast at Beauchamp in the Palazzo. Yeah, Robert says choice points are on sale. Would I buy them for half a cent each all day? Yes, all of it. I would buy as many as they would let me, because I've seen so many. I, yeah, I would buy them. I've seen so many over 1 cent per point redemptions. And listen, I really do think cashback credit cards and bank account bonuses used to purchase points is a lot of times a superior way to play this game. It just is, guys. And I really wish I was good enough at making videos where I could call out people that will not spend that cash, but they'll spend 10 times the amount of value in points and say they don't care. Well, it's just points. It's not just points. It's I don't want to get on a tangent, but Ian says he canceled an Amex card and got let out of pop-up jail. That's interesting. It's Steve says he has 4 years in the space and 2 years ago acquired the Aspire and have used it throughout Asia and Europe. Tremendous value, hands down. Munich Airport Hilton restaurants was a Michelin star. Okay, I'm going to test that in a couple weeks when I take that Aspire card to Malta. We'll see how that goes. I've had the Aspire card for years, and I've not had a lot of um, kind of real happy upgrades. Like, wow, you got me this. No, so I'm going to see. And the problem, I think the problem I have in Europe is when you go to a Hilton in Europe and you bring a child, that messes up the entire system. Like if it's just two people, plenty of upgrades, plenty of different tiered rooms. Once you bring a child, man, it kind of takes so many options away. Wong Wei says, "Hey Phil, fighting the jet lag. He's in Japan. He loves it." Stephen Lynch, Uncle Luke, love the streams. What are you looking forward to most when switching to the CSR? Well, I did switch to the CSR, and the thing I'm looking forward to most is the Sapphire Lounges in JFK. I'm going to come back into the country through JFK, and I'm going to take my boy and my wife through there in a couple weeks. And then when we do our football trip with my buddy, we're going to leave out of JFK, so I get to take him to those Sapphire Lounge in JFK. So that's the biggest thing. The 10 times on Lyft, I think I can earn on just collecting chase points in general and the peace of mind with the travel protections. I think I'll use the CSR for most of my bookings. Other than that, I don't see it as being a superior card or even a first place card, but it's going to get a fair shake. Bay Area, don't drink the water bottles. Okay. Oh, Half Moon Bay is south of San Fran. Okay, I was completely wrong. They do naughty things to the water. Okay. Ezra has a 2-night stay at any Cambria from the Choice Collection. Jumps you to the highest status with Choice. Okay. In true fashion, unlike Marriott, no extra fees and taxes when you pay with points. That's another thing about Marriott. You book with points and it ends up costing you money. Cesar deleted his comment, so he must have said something really good. He says the ones complaining about Hilton either don't have much experience or don't know how to play the game. You are 100% correct. And some of them have no experience, but I digress. Michael Pythium says he's saving all his Chase UR points for 5 nights off peak at Hyatt Impressions. Oh, in Cancun. We did 5 nights at Dreams, or not Dreams. Dreams, yeah, Dreams all inclusive. And I went all out. I got the giant suite with the preferred and all the extras and stuff. We balled out. I think I paid 244,000 Hyatt points for 5 days. We did pretty good. Joe Phillips just had 15,000 MRs hit his account today from the Rakuten. Happyuk. Happy. That's what I was trying to say. I promise. You, you know how well you might not know how it is, but this is late in the day for me. This is 8 o'clock. I can't. I'll start to mumble here in a few minutes. I'm tired. It's Thursday, so long week. Happyuk. Happyuk. What is it? Is that like Finnish or Scandinavian or something? Happyuk. I like it. Thomas Happyuk. I think you can do a product change on the name if you want. Thanks for making the pronunciation attempt. Hey, my head was saying Happyuk. I promise. I can see it, but well, I appreciate you not getting mad for me butchering it because it's not my fault. Ricky's travel hacking. I haven't been following super closely. Are there any updates on the creator meetup? I booked 2 nights at the Regency a few weeks ago. Hey, Ricky, this one, I think I'm just showing up, man. I think this is going to be, it might be a little more organized than last year, but I think the theme of it is like a Saturday night, someone like Chad from Chad's Money Minutes will pick a venue or a place and say, hey, we're meeting here at 7 o'clock. We'll keep it super informal. We'll keep it just a group of people together. Sit there, maybe have a couple of fruity drinks for 2 or 3 hours. And then from there, you can go on about your business, or you can, hey, let's go this way. Well, so I don't think it's going to be super structured. The way I kind of see it happening is it gets a little more structured every year until it does become something organized and all that. Guys, we are at 103 people. Hit that like button and give yourselves a hand. Thank you. 103 people. That's nice. I actually wrestled at 103 pounds in high school. People don't believe me, but I did. 103 pounds. And I'm only like 270 now. Ezra, I maxed out choice points today. 128,000 points for like $628. That's good. Good for at least 4 nights at a high-end ascend or cramp. Fort Lauderdale has a really nice ascend, and I want to stay there pretty soon. Yeah, Jared says underhype can equal more value with choice. Let the crowds go mattress running it high. Yeah, you're right. Good evening, go Chiefs. John R. Yeah, we have to go to Kansas City again this year. We play Kansas City every year, and it's almost always in Kansas City. That should be a really good game, by the way. The NFL should really promote that because pretty sure Joe Burrow has a winning record against Kansas City. Something to think about. They're the only team that's kept them out of the Super Bowl in the last 5 years. Tio Rico in Montenegro at the moment. Just stayed 9 days at Barrow Star. Nice, dude. Very nice. I have never been to Montenegro, but I would really like to go. Tariq says I can expect the benefits and value that Hilton Honors provides, but I just need my points to go the furthest while staying low on annual fees. I can understand that. I could counter that with I need way more value from my Chase UR points than any Hyatt can provide. I need 4, 5, 6, 7 cents a point for my good redemptions. And Hyatt, while everybody says they're so great, they're like 2, 2.5. So I don't like transferring transferable currencies to hotels. I think they lose too much value. Hilton is bigly. Hyatt barely has a foot. You're right, MR. Hilton is bigly. Oh, Thomas Happyuk is Ukrainian. Thomas, I have been to your country twice. I went there in 1996 and 98. I went to Odessa. And in 1996, I think we were one of the first American ships to pull into any of the Black Sea ports. And this is, I don't know how old you are, but our ship docked in Odessa, Ukraine, and they had a band on the pier playing for us. And in the Navy, you have what's called duty. So there's 1, 2, 3 duty groups. So 1, 2, or 3 has to stay on the ship all day. The other two duty sections get to go out in town and have fun. And I had duty the first day, and I was like young and pretty when I was in the Navy. So my job on duty was to give tours to the Ukrainians that would come on the ship and give them a tour of the ship. Just a just that's so awesome. Basically, we gave tours to young ladies, and then they came back the next day to give us a tour of Ukraine. So love your country. Loved visiting there when I was a youngster. I think I was 19 and 21, but had a lot of fun in Ukraine. A lot of fun. It did change quite a bit from 96 to 98, and I don't know what the history is with that, but it Odessa definitely changed. Tariq says he'll take his highest stays with IHG as backup. I think that's great. I don't think you can go wrong that way. That's a really good strategy. Professor X, great to see you live again. I figured the CSR would be complete garbage, where you probably, yeah, I still got to give it a chance. And as far as being live again, guys, I'm not sure if this is even appropriate to say, but it looks like a bunch of YouTube creators have fallen in love with going live, and it's been really hard for me to not step on anybody's toes and find a slot. And finally, I just gave up because it looks like some people are just, they're just going live every day. So if you guys show up, I'll keep doing them. I would like to do them every other Thursday. And that's including when I'm overseas or on vacation, because I like doing lives when I'm traveling. But MR says he ate a 103-pound shrimp once. But if you guys want these lives, just show up. I'll keep doing them. I try not to step on anybody's toes as far as scheduling, but I'm pretty much going to do it every other Thursday at 7 o'clock, unless something's going on. Vincent says, when you have Joe Beretta on live? Joe asked me to come on his channel not too long ago live, and it was like a weird day during the week. And actually, Joe was scheduling, like I would schedule a live, and then he would say, "Hey, I'm going live at the same time." So I didn't do it. So I think Joe, we'll see. I don't have the schedule that some people have where I can just go live on a Tuesday with someone. I don't live like that. So Thursdays, every other Thursday is kind of when I can do it, and probably the only time I can do it. So I think I'm going to stick with that. Why is Red Lobster going out of business? I don't know, man. But I think they've really been in decline for a long time. Stephen Lynch says he's moving to Italy for work. What credit card setup would you run if you were living in Europe? I don't think you can do bad at all with a Capital One Duo. And, I said what I said. There's no foreign transaction fees on Capital Ones. They have a great app. They have good enough customer service. They have good earnings. It's simple. They have a great app when you include the checking and savings. Do the Capital One Duo, man. I wouldn't make it so crazy complicated. Yeah, because everybody else, they're going to have cards that have foreign transaction fees. If you want to do a Chase setup, some of those cards have 3% foreign transaction fees. Even Citi, some of those cards are not going to be free overseas. Capital One Duo, boom, don't have to worry about anything. But Vincent, I am going to get that streaming software where I can have people on pretty soon. I'm slow to getting new stuff because I'm stupid. So once I start figuring out how to do that, I want to do it. DJ Bruce Wayne, go Knicks. All right, are they playing tonight? NBA comes on too late for me to watch, except for on the weekends, like when they have it during the day. But I definitely love the NBA playoffs. Love it. If I did a high annual fee credit card, I'd have to settle for something like the Truist and Joy Beyond. It's only $195. I see this card as a Venture X on a budget. Sadly, I can't get approved. So here's the thing, Professor X. I think you can do everything you want to do with very low or no annual fee cards. I just do. I think if you can find any type of travel card that you can live with and combine it with 5% no annual fee cashback cards, you can do anything anybody else can do. 100%. I'm a big fan of no annual fee cashback credit cards. And even though when I do videos on that, they don't do well, but eventually people will come around. We got Joe Barreto. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Joe Barreto, Wepa. We were just talking about you, my Barriqua brother. Barriqua brother. Oh boy. I'll be running the marathon at the Olympics in Paris. Just check the best Western hotels here. And listen, Ezra, best listen. When I book that Hyatt in New York City, I go on Google Maps and I always look at what's next to it. Right next to it, a Best Western Premier. Probably cost half as much. It is probably not as good, but it's right next to it. Best Western underrated, boys. I don't stay there, but it's definitely underrated. Phil's doing the Hyatt Ventana Big Sur. Oh, is it worth the chase points? I'm listen, man. I've never been there, so I can't dog it. But I don't know if I would go there for free. What am I doing? What am I doing there? I mean, oh, it's out in nature. I nah. I'm not. I'm not. I'm ignorant on that property. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I don't have any intentions to ever consider going there. Tio Luquido Cesar. I like that. Go live whenever you feel like it. See, I don't want to do that. I don't. I don't. I no. I want to do it like a scheduled, because normally I upload on Thursdays, so I don't want to saturate me all over everybody's computer by uploading videos and going live. I really do believe that when people do that, they start turning them off. Like I like some videos, but if I get it too much, I start clicking off of it. Joe Barreto's ready. We need a TV guide for all the streamers and their schedules. Hey, listen, I wish that's why I'm telling you my schedule was every other Thursday. If everybody had a schedule, we wouldn't step on each other's toes. But at the same time, man, it's good for you guys. If there's always somebody on, there's always something interesting going on. Thank you, Joe, for showing up. Thank you for supporting. Appreciate you, big guy. MR says when he lived in Europe for a short time, his secret was a Charles Schwab debit card. Absolutely. Bank, Altitude Connect, and City Premier. Interesting. You have to have that Charles Schwab debit card because it refunds all the ATM fees, and there's a few other reasons, but I have one and I use it if I go overseas. So you have to have the Charles Schwab checking account. Oh, Ian says Red Lobster gave away too much shrimp. The endless shrimp promotion. If you guys have ever been to a Red Lobster, you know people go there just to throw down on some shrimp and really try to bankrupt them. Julia says yes, please. It's important for them to know that not everyone will watch their streams. Yeah, here's like I would if you're going live all the time, people will turn that off. I don't. And it's also this is just my opinion. I don't know anything. I got 15,000 subscribers, but if you're going live all the time and it's like 2 or 3 hours, I don't even try to watch it. Stan the Credit Frog is in the house. Just hit us with a super chat. Fruity drink time. It's 5 p.m. in West Coast time, sunny California. Thank you, sir. And Joe Barreto, Wepa, $5 super chat. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate your support, and I appreciate the super thanks. We're going to try to find a fruity drink in Malta, I think, and pretty soon. Joe Phillips says, I think cash back cards is where to land after churning all the subs. Pretty good thought process there. They're smaller. The subs are smaller, but $200 is $200. Ask Cesar. Ask him what he'll do for $200. I hope he's not still on here. I'm just kidding. Oh boy. Ezra says they're in charge of all media production for school district he works in. have his own media production business too. Give me a holler if you need cheap ideas or any new video streaming toys. All right, Ezra, I will. I'm way far behind on my tech skills. Just am, and it's hard for me because I have such a full schedule with everything else to get the additional learning and training without stopping uploads. So I probably will hit you up. Yeah, Ian says the schedule is the way to go. All right, guys, we have come to the time for questions for Carlos. I need 2 questions for Carlos.
Only 2?
Only 2. Carlos has got his nighttime routine, and he comes in here. So let's get 2 quick questions, and I think he's going to be ready for him. He's getting super quick with his answers. Miami Vice is the best fruity drink. I'm going to try one of those. DJ Bruce Wayne, not Malta, India, Malta in the Mediterranean. Carlos, how much do you deadlift? You're not deadlifting yet? See, I'm running and jumping. He's a runner and a jumper. He's not hitting the weights all that much yet. He's a baseball player. He's a flag football player, and he's a basketball player. I just signed him up for flag football again this year. Oh, Dirk Little is the guy we saw at the Kimpton. Remember when we were waiting on the bus? He says, "Did you kiss a sting or did you hold a stingray?"
I
think you held one. Yeah, you didn't kiss him.
I didn't kiss it, but I think I held one.
I think he held one. We were there for a while. Yeah, so you're a bench press guy. You bench pressing? Just like this, right? Curling them up.
I'm doing anything.
Push-ups. You can do push-ups.
Sometimes.
Yeah, he does push-ups. He's a push-up guy. Okay, Carlos, what language could you learn to make travel easier? What is a language where you picked up a couple words?
Oh, I picked up one. Was it one in German? No, I didn't pick up anything.
Where did we go? Mexico. So what do they speak in Mexico?
Spanish.
There you go. There you go, Thomas. He picked up a few Spanish words, and we might just encourage that. That's not Spanish.
This is a language that I made up.
That's a language he made up. All right. Last question for Carlos.
Oh, no.
Name 2 ancient civilizations from the Mediterranean.
The Inca Empire? No.
You're on the right track. He said the Incas, but he's on the right track. That's all right. Work on it. Thank you for your
Roman? No.
Well, kind of, yeah. Romans, if those are considered ancient, they're Roman civilization. They were in the Med, from Italy.
Barbarians? They lived around Roman places.
Yeah, but they didn't go to the Med, I don't think. They were up north. But Romans will work because they went down to Carthage and all that good stuff in the Med. So
I don't know what Carthage is.
Okay.
Whatever you said.
All right. Well, thank you for participating.
I know what the Roman Empire is, but not whatever you said.
All right. Thank you, Charles.
Bye.
Oh, he doesn't know who. You don't know baseball players, do you?
One.
Who?
LeBron James is the only one I know, and Steph Curry.
Those are basketball players.
Oh.
All right.
I thought you said
we
basketball.
don't follow baseball, so we don't know any baseball players. But he said LeBron James. You know how kids play sports but don't watch them. It's kind of where he is. He doesn't watch them. He goes to the sporting events and has a good time, but he's.
I thought you said basketball.
Who's your favorite basketball player? LeBron and Steph. All right. Glenn says, "Que pasó, Carlos?" I don't think he's Carlos anymore. I think he's back to Charles. He's back to Charles, and we're getting ready to go to Europe, so he's definitely got to conform. Yeah, Carlos thinks about the Roman Empire at least once a day, probably twice. All right, guys, I think I am going to wrap this up. The biggest reason is there are so many other guys that are live right now. I want you to go check them out. I don't want to step on their toes, but I will be live. I want to say it's going to be, hold on, let me check, because I do want to do every other Thursday. However, I have to. Next Thursday is the 20. Okay, 2 weeks from now is the 30th. I think I'm going to be live. I think I'll be live from another country. So we'll see. So everybody that's here, I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you coming by. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And 2 weeks, I'll be back. I may be live from some exotic locale that I'll tell you all about. Glenn says, "Who cares about the others?" I do, man. I'm supportive of my fellow creators. All right, guys. We'll see you. And stay tuned. I will have a video dropping at least by Monday, maybe Saturday. And I've got about 3 bangers coming. So we'll see you later.